We're here with Nolan from Belgard at their Solution Center to talk about the basics of how to build a freestanding wall. So Nolan, what is the definition of a freestanding wall and how are they typically used?
So a freestanding wall can be called a couple different things. It can be called a freestanding wall, it can be called a pony wall, it can be called a seat wall. They all mean the same thing. Basically what it's referring to is the fact that it's standing by itself, independent, and it's not holding any earth back like a retaining wall would.
Are there any height restrictions or requirements we need to know about?
So typically in a freestanding wall application, you're going to want to treat it like something that you could sit on. So you want it anywhere from that 20 to 28 inch range where a homeowner could sit on it comfortably.
So let's say I want to build a seating wall in my backyard with a column attached to it. How would I get started?
So there's a couple different things that we want to think about when we're building something like this. Design considerations are going to be the first thing. Is it going to separate a patio area from a pool? What shape is the wall? Is it straight? Is it curved? There's a bunch of different things that we want to address before we start building a wall.
Is there any specific material we need to use to build a freestanding wall?
Yes, so there are materials that are designed to build freestanding walls. We're working with Belgard's Weston wall right now. There are also other products that could help you build a straight wall, like the tandem wall system from Belgard or even the Melville wall system. There's also products like the Bel Air wall system that are designed to build curved walls.
So now that we've got our design figured out, what tools do we need to do this job?
So we have all of the tools that we need laid out here in front of us. First thing you're going to need is a tape measure. Then we've got a tamper, or we would love to see a vibratory plate compactor, screed rails, adhesive, mallet or a dead blow, marking paint, your PPE and some gloves, and of course a level.
So what material are we going to need for this?
So the first thing we're going to want to do is identify what we need for base material. That's going to be dependent on the size of the wall. Once you understand how big the wall is and how long it's going to be, then you can get your base material ordered and your block. One of the other things that you can take into consideration is, are you going to put this on a concrete footer or are you going to put it on a U-start base system like we've done for this wall?
So now that we have everything ready, what's our first step in construction?
So the first thing that we're going to do is excavate. And when we excavate, we want to make sure that we get at least 8 to 12 inches of excavation. Once we've done that, we're going to compact the existing soil that's in the trench. Then we're going to fill that trench with our AB or base material, which is usually local road base. Once we've got that installed, then we're going to compact that as well, making sure that we have 1 inch for fluff, and we've also got 4 to 6 inches so that we can bury our U-start and a half course of our wall material.
So you mentioned fluff. What's the use of that?
So that fluff material is going to be that 1 inch that we also refer to as a bedding layer. We just want to make sure that we have loose aggregates so that when we go to level out our blocks, they set into there nice and it compacts easily.
So what's next?
So now that we have our base installed, we're going to want to install our screed rails. We're going to want to take our marking paint and mark out the depth of what those rails are going to be so that we can screed our bedding layer to install our base blocks.
So the base is all done and we're ready to start stacking wall, right?
No, so the next part is our base block installation, which is probably one of the most important parts of this system. We want to make sure that each individual U-start base block is leveled front to back, and then we want to make sure that the system itself is all level.
Now that we have our base blocks in and we're ready to start stacking, are we starting with our pillar or are we starting with our wall?
So we're going to start here with our pillar, and then we're going to build the wall. What we're doing for this installation is we're going to build the pillar and the wall independently of each other. A very common practice in the hardscape industry is to integrate that wall into the column to make the system stronger. That requires more cutting, but in here, we're just doing them independently of each other.
So where should we be incorporating our adhesive?
So we didn't do it on this application because we have to take this wall apart, but you should be including adhesive on every course, gluing all of the blocks together.
So how would we finish our wall?
So now that we've got our wall built, with the column, we could typically use a natural stone or a manufactured cap, something that has like a chisel edge or a concrete material. With the wall, you can keep the wall just like this in its finished stage, or you can take one of these units and you can turn it on its side and use that as a capping unit. Either way it works. I prefer the other way.
Thanks for sharing with us today, Nolan. If you'd like to learn more about freestanding walls or any other hardscape projects, feel free to visit us at our local Ewing branch or online at EwingOutdoorSupply.com.